Hi guys, you're welcome back to Delore Studios. We are still on the Android material design basics. We'll be looking at the list and cards. Android provides two widgets for displaying cards and lists with material design styles and animations. The Cardview widget lets you display important pieces of information inside cards that have a consistent look and feel, while the Recycler View widget is a more pluggable version of List View that supports different layout types and provides performance improvements. In this particular session, we'll be looking at the card view, and I will be creating a project whereby we'll be integrating the card view, and afterwards we'll be extending the project to use the Recycler View to create a list. Right there on the Android Studio interface, I'll start by creating a new project. Start a new Android project. I will give the application name Lists and Cards. Sorry, I have to. List and Cards. I think it's cool. Click on Next. We have the minimum SDK, fine, at API 15. Click on Next. Are we going to have, let's have an empty activity, so we get to do all our coding ourselves. Next. Now the activity name of this particular application, I'll call it Card View Activity. So it's actually going to depict. I can easily change this as well. Let me change it to Card View underscore activity. I think I like this convention. Click on Finish to set up the application for the phone and tablet. So it's fine. Thanks to the version 7 support library, you can use the Recycler View and Card View widgets on devices that run older versions of Android. So we'll be doing that by adding some lines in the dependency section, which is sitting right in the build Gradle project app session. So let's wait for the indexing, and we move to the Gradle scripts. The build Gradle module app session, click on this. So we're going to create a dependency which is actually be for the card, but we can as well include the Recycler View, since we'll be handling using this source for the Recycler View as well. So firstly, we compile com.android the spot card view version 7 21.0. Let's add a plus sign, so it's actually going to compile this. The support library should not use a different version 21 than the compile SDK 23, because we are using the compile SDK of 23. Since we're using a compile SDK version of 23 and the minimum, the target SDK version as 23, so we have to use the Android support card view of 23. So afterwards, we need to compile for the Recycler View Android dot spot circular view version 7. Same thing applicable 23.0 point plus. So afterwards, you need to synchronize Gradle to actually extract the necessary libraries. So after doing that, we'll be moving to the rest, where we'll talk about the layout files. So let's just exercise patience for that to build up and set our application ready to use the Cardview and the recycler view functionality. That's fine. It's cool. So for a Cardview, you actually need a view group. Like any other view group, it can be added to your activity or in a fragment using the layout XML. So right there in the layout, the Cardview activity, we'll go to the text. We have a relative layout already created for us, but we'll be doing some little modification right there, because I would like us to use a linear layout. No, so we can easily just do without all this. Just let us do something quickly here. Edit this to a linear layout. Want it as a linear layout. We maintain all this. So right inside the text view, this will go. So we replace this with the Android that supports version 7 widget Cardview. Place with this, click our enter. Let's close it out this way. So right inside the Android support version 7, we're still going to actually don't need this up to here. So right inside here, let's create the Android layout. Layout width over here. Match payments. It's fine. Not Android for the height. Android layout. Layout for the height. Also match parent, and we assign an ID. Android ID, which will equals to give it @ plus ID, give it CV. That's cool. Right inside here, we're going to have a relative layout. So we continue. So inside the card view, there'll be a relative layout. Let's call it a relative, which brings out the width, whereby we match parent, and we're actually going to use all these later on, but we don't need it for now. We'll be closing them out appropriately. Because let's still keep it on simple. For the height, it's going to wrap content. Can you see the design view changing gradually? Now we're going to add the padding. Which is 16 dp. That's fine. Still temporarily close it out because we don't need a closing relative layout yet, because we're still going to pass some items inside this relative layout. Now the first item is going to be the image view. Image view. Layout with height. Wrap content. For the height, wrap content. That's fine. We've not closed it out yet because we still need some other functionalities. Now we need to assign an ID, Android ID, which will be equals to @ concatenate for the ID. We're going to give it person photo underscore photo. This way. What else do we need? We need to align the layout to align parent, which will be underscore align parent left with true. We're going to align right, layout, parent top, also true. Last one here is the margin right. Just layout, margin right. We give it 16 dp. That's cool. Set the image view appropriately. We're going to pass a text view because we'll be passing to text view right inside this relative layout. The first text view goes thus. Call it text view. Layout with height, wrap content. So what goes into the text view? We're going to assign an ID. Just let's copy out so that we won't continue to copy out this ID here. Bring it there, paste there. So we have to edit the ID. So we give an ID called person name, not photo this time. Just name. Afterwards, we're going to do something as well. We're going to get the layout to the right of the person photo, so it's not going to be modeled up. So we're going to use another Android item called layout to right of layout to right of, so which we're going to get that with the ID, which is going to be plus the ID, so which to the right of which tag is going to be the person photo, not name this time. So to the right of the person photo, the last so afterwards we're going to align the parent tab to true, just like what we did here. So we just copy this out, come over here, paste that, and we're going to screw that The last identifier will be the text size. Let's assign text size, which will be 30sp. It's fine. We're moving on gradually. We have another text view, which I will just uh, copy out all these. We have into text view right there. Come over here, paste that in. Actually need to align this, to align your code. Make it neat. That's fine. This time the person name, it's going to be the person age as an ID. Change that right there. The ID of the right off is also the person photo. The align parent tab. Now we don't need the align parent tab to be true, so take that off. Wait. So to the right of, now we're going to replace the size because this is actually not needed. So the text size is going to be the layout below, which is actually going to be below which layout? It's actually going to be the ID of the person name. That's is actually going to sit below the person's name. So this is an item that will sit below. Afterwards, we need to close up some tags. First of all, the relative layout. Secondly, we close up the support version 7 widget card view. That's cool. So this is how to actually create a card layout. We have it right intact. It's going to work perfectly. So we'll be moving to the card view activity to instantiate this and to make it work programmatically. So we'll move to the Java folder. We have the card view activity, and we actually need to declare some fields, and we need to call in the necessary ID and instantiate it with the field created. So let's first of all create a field. This is a card view activity that extends the app compact activity. The first is going to be a text view object, which is a person name. So we need to import this, Alt Enter. Use Alt Enter to import that. The second will be, we're going to also use the text view for the person age. So you can just easily copy this out. Call it person's age. The third is for the image view. I'll call it the person photo. So you need to import this class. Alt Enter, we import that. You have it set. So right in the onCreate method where we set the content view to the card view activity we just looked into, so we're going to call the appropriate ID and initialize it to the object created. The first is the person name. So we will have to use this, whereby we first of all cast it to the text view. Text view. We'll find the view by ID. So we pass the identifier ID to the person name ID we created, which is over here. That's cool. Close that with a semicolon. We do the same thing for the person age, so we just copy out. Now we call it person age. Change this to age. We're also going to do for the photo is that right there. Call it person photo. Call it photo. Now it's going to be image view instead of text view. So that's fine. Now we're going to set the person name, so we have to set the person name for a value, or else it's still not usable. Let's set the text. Actually, before I move further, I would like to import a drawable. There's a drawable file. That's the picture. Actually, I have it right saved in my pictures folder, so I'll be copying it in, and I'll be dragging it into the workspace. Let me just copy Charleston, copy it this way, move to the drawable, you paste. Okay, so you have it there. So now we're going to set the text based on the picture name, which is actually going to be Charleston. Close it out. We're going to also set the age. So let's call person age, set text. What's the text? We're going to call it 27 years old. The last but not the least is going to be the person photo. We're going to set image resources. So image resource, which is actually going to call from the drawable. R.drawable over here. And what's the name of the picture? Charles Stone. Person photo, called photo, drawable, Charles Stone. Or let us just try to rename this. So you refactor, you rename. Let's maintain Charles without Stone. No problem with that. I think it needs it in one word factor. So now we give it Charles. Forget the Stone. That's fine. That's cool. So we have this is just the basic way of creating a card view. First of all, go through the layout, which we have the card view activity, where we call on the Android support version 7 widget. We have a relative layout over here, We have the image view right inside the relative layout that houses the picture. You have a text view, that depicts the person's name, and the second text view for the age. A closing relative layout, a closing support version 7 widget card view, and we have a PNG file of a cute guy over here. And from here, we need to create some fields, text view based on the name and age, and the image view for the person photo. So we have to initialize those IDs and cast it to the name and age. Likewise for the photo. So we have to set the text for the name appropriately, for the age, and the photo. We set that using the set image resource from the drawable code, and the name of the file is Charles. So by launching the application and testing it out in an Android emulator, which I've clicked on my run button to actually get the application built. So we have to exercise some patience to build up the application and launch it in an emulator. Now it has been built successfully. Let's get to look at this in the emulator. Wow, here we go. Listing cards. You get to see the picture right sitting by the left, while the name Charles Stone with the age 27 years. This is just a card view, So right there you can see how silk and how beautiful it looks, whereby you can integrate lots of complex functionality. So you can actually make a complex UI with the use of a card view, to display picture, to display text, to display text items. You can use it for a list. Now we're going to improve more on this, whereby we get to have a list using the recycler view to create a list of names, pictures, and their age. So we're going to actually do that in the next module. So I implore you to sit back and look out for the next tutorial right there in the Android Material Design Basics, whereby I'll be talking about the recycler view in the next tutorial. Thank you very much for hanging out with me throughout this tutorial, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Have a wonderful time. Bye bye.